Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a truly fascinating piece of Australian numismatic history, the 1973 Australia 50-cent coin in rust black fine condition. We'll explore where it came from, what it's made of, why collectors love it, what it's worth right now on the market in US dollars, and even share some tips if you're thinking of adding one to your own collection. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. The story begins in the early days of Australia's decimal currency system. When Australia switched over from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents in the 1960s, the 50-cent coin became an iconic part of everyday life. By 1973, this denomination had taken on a distinct identity with a standard Commonwealth coat of arms design and the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, a design that instantly connects us to Australia's history and heritage. Now, the specific 1973 coins we're talking about aren't your shiny, fresh-from-the-mint pieces. When you hear collectors describe a coin as rust black, fine condition, they're talking about a coin that has seen time and developed a darker, toned surface. This isn't damage, it's character. The surface toning gives the coin a unique appearance that many collectors find appealing. What's important to know is that condition strongly influences value. A fine coin with even toning and attractive color will typically attract more collector interest than a dull, overly worn example. Let's break down what this coin is physically. The 1973 Australian 50-cent piece has a weight of about and a diameter of S, composed of copper nickel with a durable blend that resists corrosion and gives the coin that classic silvery look. The round shape was used in the earliest years of decimal coinage, before transitioning later to the familiar dodecagonal shape we see on modern Australian 50-cent coins. This combination of metal and historic design makes it a rewarding piece to hold and examine. The color, weight, and heft give you that satisfying coin feel that enthusiasts love. And because these coins were produced in relatively low numbers, only around 4 million in 1973, they're genuinely special finds when they turn up in change or estate collections. So why do collectors want this coin? First, its historic value is undeniable. It's a physical link to Australia's early decimal era. And because the mintage was lower compared to many modern coins, the 1973 issue has a scarcity that's hard to ignore. Most years saw far more coins struck, but the 1973 round version stands out precisely because fewer were made. Collectors also appreciate unique surface tones, and that's where the rust black appearance comes into play. Toning happens naturally over decades as the metals react with their environment. Some collectors think it adds beauty and personality, especially when it's even and pleasing to the eye. That aesthetic appeal can boost desirability and even market value when the coin is otherwise sound. Now, let's talk numbers what this coin is worth today, and we're talking realistic current market values, not myths or wild speculation. For a typical circulated 1973 Australian 50-cent coin in fine condition, market pricing generally ranges in the low to mid-teens in US dollars. Specialized dealer lists and collector catalogs suggest values of around $2.30, $0 to $2.50, $0 for a fine-grade example, and slightly higher if the toning is attractive and the coin is eye-appealing. That said, avoid trusting exaggerated listings or hearsay that this specific 1973 Australian 50-cent piece is worth tens of thousands that's not supported by real auction records or dealer pricing. Instead, base your expectations on described grade and confirmed sales data. If you're considering collecting or selling coins like this one, here are a few helpful tips. Always handle coins with clean hands or gloves to protect the surface from oils. Store coins in acid-free holders or capsules to prevent further toning or corrosion. If you think you might have a rare or high-grade specimen, consider professional grading. Slabbed and certified coins often sell for more because buyers trust the grade. Research auction results and dealer catalogs before pricing your coin. Values change over time, and staying informed helps you make better buying or selling decisions. And finally, enjoy the hunt. Part of the joy of coin collecting is uncovering history and connecting with other enthusiasts who share your passion. The 1973 Australian 50-cent coin in rust black, fine condition is more than just spare change. It's a piece of history with a timeless design and real appeal to collectors around the world. Its market value reflects both its age and condition, generally modest yet meaningful. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a new hobbyist, it's the stories behind these coins that make them truly special. Next up, today we've got a really fun and fascinating piece to talk about: the 2004 Australian 50 cents Australian fauna coin featuring the lorikeet, koala, and wombat. This coin is one that many collectors and everyday folks recognize, not just because it's a piece of everyday decimal currency, but because of the heartwarming story behind its design and why collectors pay attention to it even today. Let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about the history and condition of this coin. The 2004 Australian 50 cents from the Australian Fauna series is a memorable issue. It features a unique reverse design that showcases three beloved Australian animals: the lorikeet, the koala, and the wombat, all crafted by a student designer as part of a nationwide competition. This wasn't just any competition, it was a celebration of Australian wildlife and creativity, with thousands of students entering their designs. The winning design by young John Serrano was then selected by the Royal Australian Mint and struck for circulation. So the coin doesn't just have monetary value, it carries a story of national pride and community involvement. Collectors often grade coins based on condition in numismatics. You'll hear terms like very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated. When we talk about a coin being in very fine condition, we're referring to a coin that has seen light circulation but still maintains sharp design detail with only minor wear. This means you can still clearly see the animals and design elements, and overall the coin looks pleasing and collectible. The nicer the condition, typically the more interest it attracts from collectors. Now let's take a closer look at the shape and composition of this coin. Although most modern Australian 50-cent coins are 12-sided, this 2004 piece was actually issued round for the Australian Fauna Student Design Series, making it instantly distinctive in a pocket full of everyday change. It weighs around and has a diameter of about with a smooth edge and made from a copper-nickel alloy. That classic combination gives it a wonderful balance of durability and resistance to wear, while also making it familiar and comforting to collectors who love modern decimal coinage. What about collector demand? The answer here is positive and interesting. Because this coin features a specially chosen design and was part of a creative national competition, there's extra appeal beyond just. Many collectors enjoy adding it to Australian coin sets, thematic wildlife collections, or student design series. That said, with a mintage in the millions, these coins aren't classified as rare in the traditional sense. Rather, demand tends to be steady thanks to its history and appeal, and collectors generally look first at condition and originality before adding it to their albums. So what's the current market value of this coin today in dollars? If you're holding a very fine condition 2004 Australian Fauna 50 cents, most recent guides and price listings show it typically exchanging hands in the ballpark of around $1.60, $1,000 or $2.20,000 USD. That's well above faces for collectors, especially if the condition is attractive and the details remain crisp. Values can vary depending on where you look, but this range gives you a fair idea of what collectors are willing to buy and sell for one down. Always check the condition first. A coin that has been well cared for with minimal scratches, no cleaning marks, and sharp detail holds appeal and value far more than one that has been heavily circulated. Store coins safely. Use holders, flips, or albums designed for coin collecting. Keeping them away from moisture, direct sunlight, and fingerprints makes a big difference over time. Do a little homework before buying or selling. Check recent actual sales rather than just asking prices. Sites like auction results or collector forums can give you a realistic idea of what people are paying right now. And remember, the value of a coin is not just in the number you see on a price guide, it's also in the joy it brings to you as a collector, whether you're in it for the history, the design, or the thrill of the hunt. In conclusion, the 2004 Australian Fauna 50 cents coin featuring the lorikeet, koala, and wombat is a wonderful example of a modern coin that carries both cultural significance and collector appeal. It's a piece you might find in pocket change, yet it has a story that reaches beyond its denomination, showcasing artistry, national pride, and a love for Australia's unique wildlife. In very fine condition, this lovely coin can bring a smile to both beginner and seasoned collectors alike, and its current market value reflects a healthy interest in modern collectible coins. Next up, today we've got an exciting topic for all the coin lovers and history buffs out there. We're diving deep into one of Australia's classic collectible coins, the 1970 Australian 50 cents commemorative coin issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Captain Cook's Australian voyage. This is not just any old 50-cent piece, it's a special part of Australian history and a favorite among collectors around the world. Let's start with some history. This coin was issued in 1970 by the Royal Australian Mint to mark the bicentenary of Lieutenant James Cook's exploration of the east coast of Australia in 1770. It was the first commemorative decimal coin ever released in Australia, which already gives it a special place in numismatic history. That means when you hold this coin, you're not just holding 50 cents, you're holding a piece of history that celebrates a major milestone in Australia's story. The design reflects this heritage too. On the obverse side, you'll see a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and on the reverse side, there's an image of Captain Cook alongside a map of. Now let's talk condition and composition, which are huge factors in a coin's value. This coin was minted in copper nickel, giving it that distinctive silver-like look and making it durable for everyday use. Its shape is 12-sided, which makes it instantly recognizable compared to round coins. When we talk about condition, collectors use terms like very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated. A coin in very fine condition means it's been well kept, with only light wear from circulation. These ones often show all the key details sharply and look great under light. Many coins sold online in very fine condition are still clearly attractive and collectible. So what about collector demand? Over the decades, this Captain Cook 50-cent piece has maintained a steady interest among collectors. It's not a super rare coin millions were minted, but it is historically significant, and the commemorative design makes it popular with beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Its appeal often goes beyond pure monetary value because people love the story behind it. Okay, so here's the part many of you are curious about: current market value. On online auction sites and coin markets today, prices can vary based on condition. A well-worn example might be priced around a few dollars above, while very fine specimens often sell in the $2.30, $0 to $2.50, $0 range, and uncirculated coins can occasionally reach a bit higher. Some listings show coins in uncirculated condition selling near around $2.60, $0 to $2.75, $0 AUD, and even higher for specimen or special packaged pieces. Values fluctuate with demand, seller pricing, and condition, so it's always worth checking recent auctions before you sell or buy. If you're thinking about collecting Captain Cook coins or other historic pieces, here are a few tips you'll want to keep in mind. Handle your coins with care. Always hold them by the edges to avoid fingerprints and oils that can damage the surface. Storing them in protective holders or albums makes a huge difference over time. It's also smart to check multiple sources when estimating value, like auction results and numismatic catalogs, rather than relying on one listing alone. And most importantly, take your time learning about coins. Part of the joy is discovering stories behind each piece and seeing how they fit together in your collection. So there you have it, the 1970 Australia 50 cents. Captain Cook coin isn't just another piece of metal. It's a tangible connection to history and a wonderful addition to any collection. Whether you're just starting out or you've been collecting for years, this coin has both historical significance and a steady market interest that make it worth knowing about. Next up, today we're diving into a fascinating little piece of Australian coinage, the 2008 Australian 50-cent coin, and what it's worth in today's market, especially if you've got one in fine condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just stumbled across one in your pocket change, this coin has some great stories and value potential. First, let's go back in time and talk about the history of the Australian 50-cent piece. The 50-cent denomination has been part of Australia's decimal currency system for decades, evolving in shape, design, and collector interest over the years. Unlike the original round 50-cent coins from the 1960s, modern 50-cent pieces since 1969 have featured a distinctive 12-sided shape and carry the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Now, the 2008 coin in particular is notable because it's one of the modern issues struck by the Royal Australian Mint. There were a few varieties produced that year: the standard circulating coat of arms design, and commemorative issues, such as the Centenary of Scouting, 50 cent, with a special reverse design celebrating 100 years of scouting in Australia. Circulating in your pocket or preserved in a folder, that coin reflects a part of Australian history and cultural pride. Australian coins. When we look at condition, that's where things get really interesting. A coin in fine condition means it still shows good detail and minimal wear from circulation. It might not have the crispness of an uncirculated mint set piece, but it still holds charm and appeal and is very pleasing to collectors. A well-preserved 2008 Australian 50-cent piece with clear design elements and limited surface marks will always stand out better than one that's heavily worn or damaged. This is part of what makes coins like this fun to find and enjoy. You never know how good one might be until you look closely. Speaking of composition and physical features, this 50-cent piece is made from a copper-nickel alloy, a classic combination that gives it both durability and that distinctive silvery hue. It weighs about grams and measures roughly, with a pleasant 12-sided shape that's instantly recognizable to collectors and Aussies alike. So what about collector demand? In recent years, interest in Australian coins has remained strong. While the 2008 standard issues aren't extraordinarily rare on their own, special versions like the Scout Centenary or high-grade examples can attract enthusiastic attention from people who love decimal Australian coins. Enthusiasts appreciate the story behind these coins and the fact that they capture moments in Australia's cultural timeline. Collectors also tend to seek out more examples in better condition, meaning that a fine or uncirculated 2008 Australian 50 cent can catch the eye more easily than one. That brings us to current market value. As of now, typical 2008 Australian 50-cent coins in fine condition are generally worth more than their cents, but not usually commanding huge premiums unless they're in truly exceptional condition or a special variety. Many circulated examples will trade for just a couple of dollars, with estimates showing values around $1.40, $0 to $1.75, $0 for standard pieces in collectible grades. Some listings for uncirculated or better graded coins show slightly higher prices, and collector demand can push rare variations higher still. What's great about this is even if you find one in change today, it's still a little treasure worth checking out. Now, if you're building a collection or just starting to take an interest in numismatics, here are some friendly tips for collector. Always handle coins with clean hands or gloves to avoid oils and dirt affecting the surface. Try to store them in proper holders or albums that protect them from scratches and environmental damage. Learn a bit about grading, even just understanding the difference between fine, very fine, and uncirculated can help you gauge value more confidently. And most importantly, enjoy the hunt and the story behind each coin you come across. To wrap things up, the 2008 Australian 50-cent coin in fine condition is a delightful and accessible piece for both new and experienced collectors. It connects you with Australia's rich decimal currency history, offers subtle value above its face, and reminds us all how enjoyable numismatics can be. Whether it's sitting in your change jar or showcased in a collection, this coin has character and appeal that make it worth celebrating.